The Strangers Pray at Night. This is a loose sequel of The Strangers back in from 2008. It stars Christina Hendricks, Bailee, Madison, Martin Henderson, Lewis Pullman, and as I said, it's a loose sequel, and it follows the same kind of story where these three attackers are trying to get inside the house, trying to kill the people within the home. Now, I mean, this is a welcome sight for one, because you never see slashers, thriller slashers anymore. Horror is pretty much just supernatural, ghost shit, and it's kind of nice to see a fresh look on horror. Saying that, the first movie I remember being actually good. I mean, I watched this probably 7 or 8 years ago, like I reckon 2011, 12-ish, so probably 6 or 7 years ago, and I remember liking it. I remember this is a cool idea, creepy thriller slasher, and it worked. I don't remember much about the plot. I don't even remember if people survived, so I'm not even sure if it is the same people or 3 people in the same masks. But it follows on, and there is pretty much no connection that I am aware of. Again, really, 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 really foggy on that movie, but remember enjoying it. Now, we're done with the good portion of the review because I just talked about the old one. We're talking about the loosest sequel ever. By God, this movie isn't good. For one, I think this is one of the worst movies I've seen. One of the reviews that when I'm watching a bad movie, I go, holy shit, this is bad. And I'm like really hurt. I'm like, oh my God, like, how are they this bad? But this one, I was just like, oh my God. And I was enjoying how bad it was, which is a bad thing to say. Okay, let's get into it, because this movie is a slasher. So they're going to be people hunting them down. So they go into this, they're in a trailer park, and they start hunting these people down. And it's just silly. These people cannot fight back at all. They really just refuse to fight back for a while, and then when they do, these people are like supernatural human beings that can take 3 times the amount any human being gets. It should kill these things. I'm not gonna say what happens or who gets killed, blah blah blah, but the things that are killing these characters, or the killing, when they're trying to kill these villains, they're just not, you have to do 3 times the amount of anything else we're doing, and it just gets ridiculous at a point. You kind of sit there and you're like, you're kidding. How are they, surviving this? And that's an element that I thought was a bit stupid, because these are just meant to be people. That's the whole thing what I thought was really good about the first one. These are just people that are just, random people that just want to kill. And, they're going to go down when you go down. These people are like fucking Jason Voorhees running around, and they're just crazy for the sake of it, which I didn't like either. They gave no backstory to why these people are killing. And there's just no rhyme or reason of what's happening in any of this movie. And it's just the silliest thing. You just sit there and you're laughing I wouldn't even say guilty pleasure way, because it doesn't even deserve to be called a guilty pleasure, because it's not that good to be a guilty pleasure. But I did enjoy it in a guilty pleasure-ish way of my enjoyment. But it was just so bad. The killings were the way they didn't get killed, or were ridiculous. The villains were bad. The characters were the most generic characters ever. The daughter, played by Bailee Madison, who I actually like the actress. I watched a few of her shows, which is the reason I went out and watched this movie. Also, even at my normal theatre, my mate that watched some of her stuff was like, you know what, Bailee Madison's on a big movie, let's go and check it out. And she was the most generic, rebellious kid. She was in the rock t-shirt with the cut jeans, cigarettes. It was so stupidly written. They tried to throw in this retro stuff, which I've heard is very John Carpenter-like. This mirrors a lot of stuff they did with John Carpenter did, but really, really B-grade John Carpenter work. It feels like it should be a B-grade straight to DVD movie, but for some reason it came out in cinemas. It did come out in one session where I live. There was Hoyts, which is a huge franchise in Australia, had one session at 9 o'clock on a Friday evening in all their cinemas over in Australia. They had 5 or 4 in each state, so selective theatres. My normal cinema didn't get it, so for whatever reason, we'll check out a screening. It should have been straight to DVD. I don't know why it didn't. This movie was a mess. It was almost funny how bad it was. It just didn't click. It didn't hit anything. It was retro in a weird way that wasn't working. There was a, you know, a soundtrack that they were trying to be like edgy and blah blah blah. It did not work. The cinematography, which is usually a huge problem with my bad movies, I'm like, the cinematography was awful. And early on I was like, this is not bad. But then they kept doing these weird prolonged shots with like the and then it would just fade. And it was like, why is this, like, the shot was going for like 4 or 5 times how long it should have been going. There's a lot of things wrong with this movie, but I did have fun with how bad it was, which is something I haven't necessarily had with other movies. I've just been like, why is this a thing? I mean, there was people laughing in the theaters, you know, of how bad it was. People kind of just were like, what did we just watch? Which is never a good thing. I'm giving The Strangers Pray at Night a D+. I did actually, as I said, I got some weird enjoyment out of this movie, but it was horrendous. It was not well done. I wouldn't recommend to see it. Don't pay money to see it, I'll tell you that much. I mean, if you want to like see what I'm talking about, some of the stuff, I can understand. Go and watch it at home for free. Do not pay to see this movie, because it's a waste of your money, literally. And I went to a different theatre. I went half an hour out of my way to see this film because of Bailee Madison, and I got duped. I got duped, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I didn't expect it to be good. I don't know why I said it. I mean, I did get duped, but, you know, I wasn't expecting a great movie anyway. But anyway, thank you for watching. I just hit 100,000 subs, I wish. I just hit 100 subs, guys, which is huge. Thank you guys so much. I've got a 100 sub video coming up soon, and I'll explain what's going on there. So keep up to date with that. I've got a Steelbook Sunday that just dropped yesterday, so check that out. I've got another review tomorrow as well, so I'm keeping it rolling. This video is actually a few days late because I watched the movie a day later than I normally would, and then it kind of ruined my schedule. So this would have usually been out on Friday. It's coming out on a Monday. But we're working with it, guys. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe if you haven't seen me before. You can like, you can comment, but of course, have a good one.